I think she's supposed to get here in just a minute, but
before we begin.
we're gonna get started. Go ahead and get started. We're running a little late, so she'll be here in a few minutes. Ms. Cobb. Let's have a little prayer when we go. Thank you, Father, for all your blessings. We ask for wisdom in our planning, Father, in our work session. Give us wisdom, and we ask you, Father, for your blessings on our county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
We have a guest today, Miss Yolanda Watkins Bailey. I've always called her Miss Yolanda. She worked with the ACCA for how many years?
6 years.
6 years. So she's very familiar with the ACCA and Sonny Braswell. Sonny's such a shy fella.
Can't get a word out of it.
But
I was his assistant, so I understand.
and she brought gifts. She gifts.
Yeah, y'all can take them anytime y'all want.
There she is, Miss Cobb. We hated to start. We did say a prayer, so we hadn't really started yet. So. Do you know Miss Yolanda?
You remember from last time, I think. As Shirley Robinson said, I'm Yolanda Watkins Bailey, and I've been with Avenue for 20 years. Used to work for the County Commission Association for 6 years. Today I want to talk to you all about sales tax collection. We used to do y'all sales tax collection a couple of years ago, then you all went to the Department of Revenue. So what I put together was a fee comparison for you all. Y'all look in the folder underneath the net comparison report. When you all were with us, your sales tax were on a steady increase. When you all left in 2022, your sales tax was up 19.68%. So if you look at the fee comparison, which I put together, if you look at the total remittance, and this is from August 2023 to July 2024, you all collected about $3.1 million. When you all left us, you all were at $3.4 million. So you all have lost some revenue, and your Department of Revenue fees are $56,970. On the fee comparison, I put together, I provided y'all with two separate options. We can charge you all $2.85 per account, or we can do an overall bundle rate of $4.50, which will include your auditing fees. Either way, you all will still have a savings. If you do the $2.85, that would be $28,196 in savings, or if you do the $4.50, which will include auditing, that will be $11,538. We collect for everybody in Cleburne County, except for the county itself. We're still doing Heflin. Heflin sales tax is up $300,000 over last year. And also we collect for 46 counties out of the 67 counties here in Alabama. Would love the opportunity to bring you all back to Avenue. The difference between us and the Department of Revenue is our fees. And then also, as we get money in, we go ahead and process it over to you all. So you will get deposits 3 to 4 times per week compared to the once a week deposit that you receive from the Department of Revenue. I think we just took over where we're getting ready to start taking over your fireworks tax again and your tobacco tax again as well. So I think that's set to start December 1st. So we would like an opportunity to show you, to get your revenue back up. And I can answer any questions for you all if you have any. The commission will, or the court, Ms. Copeland will have access to multiple different reports. We have about 12 different reports that are available online that you can track. History and trends, decrease report, increase report, as well as we also have a software that, and I just heard them talk about it in the back, but we also have a software that can fully identify all the short-term rentals that are in Cleburne County. So we are offering that service as well, to help identify everyone that's renting out their house for short-term rentals. We can help with identifying those and bringing those additional lodging tax revenues to the county. I can answer any questions that you all might have.
Yes.
We have a couple of RV rentals deals, like on the river. How does that figure into like a lodging tax?
And with the way the state is set up and lodging tax is set up, anything that's rented less than 31 days is considered a short term, it's considered, they should be remitting lodging tax. But if they're past 31 days, then they consider that as long-term rentals.
So
That's a constant.
So is there any tax on that? Like I go out there and rent an RV space for a week, I pay no tax
You should pay a lodging tax, yes, sir.
for a week?
They should be collecting lodging tax.
So if you rent it for 32 days, do you pay a lodging tax?
According to the law, no.
Okay.
But anything less than 31 days, they should be remitting lodging tax to you all. And it's whether it's an RV or either glamping is new now. Because some people are renting out their apartments, they're renting out fifth wheels, they're doing a lot of different things when it comes to short-term rentals. And what they're doing now with short-term rentals, they're not necessarily, I know you hear about Airbnb and VRBO and all those booking sites, but what they're doing is they have regulars that come in, they just go straight to the owners. Like I did when 2 years ago we went to Florida for a week. Rather than paying $600 from VRBO, I canceled my VRBO reservation and booked straight through the property management company, and I saved like $600 or more. So, and then once you start communicating with them online, the owners, they say, hey, if you book through me, because they don't want to have to pay all these fees and all that stuff, that's additional fees to them. They'll say, well, I'll do the booking here, come to my website. And we track all of those. So even with our short-term rental, even if they say they're not renting or they stop renting for a while, once they pop back up, we get notified.
So up at Coleman Lake and the National Forest, we should be getting, because they got those RV campsites up there, we should be getting lodging tax from
You
those.
should.
Do we? Lisa?
I'm sorry.
Do we get any of that lodging tax from any of those campsites up on the
I
Sea
have
Hall?
to check on this. Is that for just the lot? Because they're bringing their own campers.
Yeah, they're bringing their own campers. Yeah,
We
they
got a
should.
bunch. We got a bunch of those.
And even if y'all have like a rental fee, I really don't, the rental, because rental is anything that's rented out for a little while. So it can be either one of those lodging or rental, but I think it would fall under lodging.
I can pull a report that goes all the way down to the vendor that is collecting tax, so I can do that.
Any other questions?
Do we collect that bill on the federal plan?
Pay for tax
So that decrease might have a lot to do with the fireworks and
Well, this is the report, the decrease report. I was just looking at the sales and use and lodging tax only. I didn't factor in fireworks or anything like that. Because that's the reports that I got was from the state, was for that was provided was for sales and use and lodging tax only. So that's what I compared what you all were getting, the decrease.
What percentage do you charge on administrative fees?
Well, that's what I put right here. So for you all, it'll be cheaper by the dollar amount. So I'm offering y'all $2.85 per account or $4.50, whichever one. The $4.50 would include auditing. And to that, it'll be a bundle rate, which would include auditing, or the $2.85.
Okay, so you don't do it on percentage every?
It'll be higher. The percent, we're gonna do whatever is cheaper for you all. So our percentage rate is 1.95%. That's the reason I didn't show that, because it would be much higher.
So it's $285 per month,
$2.85 per account.
Yeah.
but yeah, per month for each account.
Yes. And so as you can see, I compared the accounts, the $2.85 times the 806 or the number of accounts. If you look at that fee comparison.
Something we discussed.
Any other questions?
And if you all decide to come back to us, Ms. Lisa has a startup packet in her folder which has a resolution that can be passed We have to give the state a 30-day notice, a 60-day notice of the change, and the letters are in the startup packet, but we would notify all the taxpayers and everything
Okay.
of the switch.
That was painful when we switched. And I just, that's the only negative thing is and please don't be offended, I'm just
Oh, no, that's fine.
being honest. But with anybody who has a business that is painful to switch back again and you get used to doing something. So, just, you're gonna catch that from your business owners. What's that?
I said the fees will not pay in now.
Yeah. But, to me, personally, I like the old system better, but that was me personally. That's a kudos to y'all.
Thank you. And since it helps out since we collect for Ranford, Cleburne, that all, your taxpayers can pay at one time through our system.
That is.
At Fruithurst, they can just go on and add Cleburne County.
Right.
And it does look like in 2024, 2023, 2024, like, still some of your taxpayers were remitting to us, so we collected about 64,000 for you all during that time period.
The other issue that would be, if we goes back, you send a check to the Board of Education.
We can, yes.
Versus us having to do that, and we get caught in the middle of that.
And even if, because right now we're collecting the distribution rates are changing for the BOE, so we kind of get in contact with them for them to send over the new distribution rates, and we adjust our system to that and send that over. If there's money that's due, like Lauderdale County, we collect for them. They have about 17 different liabilities that we break up their revenue and send it on to them, to whoever that owe. But you still see how much the BOE is getting and all of that. And even if you all have like abatements, we keep track of that, and we can let y'all know where you stand on the abatements as well.
As far as like if you have a company or a service station or anything like that that's not paying them, how aggressive are y'all going back for that funding?
Well, we can do an audit. You can do an audit request. We can do audits on. We put liens on properties as long as they have that. We will let you all know if y'all want to close it down. You can do that as well. We are pretty aggressive after the 30 days that they're behind.
Well, what we run into a lot, or we have in the past, is where the person owns the building. And they're running a service station. Well, the merchandise on the inside, they lease the inside of it out.
Oh, okay.
Where all the sales tax mostly is on merchandise. Not, because gas would go straight to the state on the gas tax, other than the 3 cents if it's inside the city of Heflin. But that's where we run into a lot of problems. And then what happens is it'll be forever that we won't never collect that tax. And all of a sudden those people are gone. And they just bring in a new operator or change the name to a lease and somebody else to start selling.
What we started now is we put online like a delinquency report, so you can keep track of the delinquency. So once they hit 30, 60, 90, or 120, we can help you all get a little bit more aggressive, because you can put in an injunction action against the whatever it may be, the merchandise or whatever, the owner of that particular property. So we've changed.
That's an issue all over the state.
It is.
These people coming in and buying
It
this.
is true, they sell it to their cousin or whatever it may be.
We've had problems in the past, and we didn't, the collection was horrible.
Yeah, I've got a better handle on that. We'll get with Lisa. I think it might be better for our citizens to one-stop shop myself. What do y'all think?
It's something we need to discuss, but we need to get Lisa involved.
I can work with you, some numbers, some things for you.
Okay. especially if we're down that much, for sure. And y'all still, in this past, y'all still collecting some of our other money where they still sending, our people, citizens are still sending it to.
Firecracker and liquor statement, then
Yeah, we're not doing anything with that. We just started getting, we're, December 1st will be the first part for the fireworks and the tobacco tax.
That's what we signed a contract.
Review the contract.
Yes.
But lodging tax, even Chehalis State Park, they pay a lodging tax, they always have.
I'm just saying, probably on their rentals like there, I just wondered on RVs, she said we're supposed to be collecting where they come up and rent a campsite. Not a primitive one, I guess, not. But
Not permanently, yeah.
I'm just talking about where it's got power hookup. You wouldn't get one for just a tent, would you?
Well, I mean, it depends on how they're set up, because right now I know some people with campsites have these glamping type things, you know, the nice little campsites that you can rent out. So that is considered lodging.
Well, they're in the process of renovating that place on the hill, so we need to make sure we got our game plan together on that.
Right. They're getting kind of extravagant with this glamping stuff.
Okay.
We appreciate you coming, and we will be in discussion about it. Anything else? We appreciate.
Okay, and if you have any questions, my card is in the folders. You can always give me a call or send me an email. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I think we're spending a lot of stamps going in different directions now. And it might be time to bite the bullet and go back.
Joyce, you have anything?
We're up and rolling, collecting.
Come up here. If you don't mind.
Yeah, well, we're up and rolling and collecting for y'all. Started, I know everybody got their bills and they're so happy. Yes. So, as some of you may already know, next collections will have a cap on top of that bill. I know that y'all probably are aware of the cap bill, and we're looking at a lot of different things that can either throw you into the cap or out of the cap. So if someone makes a regular repair to their house, like they put in a new roof, or they repair a porch that was already standing, those sorts of things would keep the cap on. You would keep the 7% cap on the property then. But if you did something like add a swimming pool, or add a bedroom, or some of those major, what they consider major improvements, the cap would come off, so that you wouldn't see a cap of that 7% increase. So
On the whole property?
On the whole property. So if one thing happens, if one thing is increased, the whole property is increased. That's right. So there's going to be a lot of people that are unhappy. That's not my rule, that was the state's rules. We went back and forth with them saying, what if they added an air conditioner? Well, if you're just replacing an air conditioner that went bad, as a heat back system, if it went bad and they're just replacing it, upgrading it, it would not remove the cap. But if you're putting in an HVAC system in a house that never had one, the cap will come off.
What about trees?
trees, you're good with trees. Cut the trees back.
No, I'm just saying, I lost them trees, and I feel like those trees are probably
Yeah.
$10,000 a piece, so
Yeah.
I'd like to have a deduction on them babies.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that would be through income tax, the trees would be, because we don't tax trees, we're taxing the land that the trees are sitting on.
That just starts in 2025.
That'll start on collections in 2025.
Prior to that.
There's no cap on this that we're collecting today. That's correct. And those that we've been collecting since October 1st, the cap was not in place for that. It was for collections 25, 26, and 27.
I'm just saying, if somebody adds on to their house right now.
That's right.
They're still.
Yeah, well, if they add on to it after October 1st, yes, we're going to pull the
Who
cap.
can afford to?
Yeah. I don't know, but they're doing it. I guess they're not getting a loan to do it at 7%, but yes. just kind of giving y'all a heads up, if you start hearing those, those whisperings of the 7% cap that isn't gonna affect everybody, or it is gonna affect, just send them our way, we'll try to walk them through it. Before you do any projects, you might want to call us first to see if it's gonna be in the cap or not, but, yeah. Y'all got any questions for me? Thank y'all.
I got my mail.
Lane, you got anything? Welcome, Tanya. This is your first work session. You got anything? You got some new industry coming in today?
I've actually had some phone calls today,
Okay.
but the first thing I did was I got the press release out today. So
You want to come up,
Oh,
talk to us?
Sure. It's taken me some time to get acclimated, and I've told the commissioners it's like an act of Congress to order business cards. And Krista and Emily and Lisa, it's like a ping pong. I just keep going like, okay, what do I do this? What do I do this? What form do I fill out here? So I'm just getting that. I'm also taking the budget that Lisa put together, and I've kind of drafted that. I've been able to go over them, and I haven't been able to go over it with the rest of you guys, but I wanted to sit down and talk about that. And within that budget, there's some initial thoughts of things to focus on, okay? And then, again, the press release went out. There's a lot of feedback on that. I've already got calls from the president of EDPA and EDAA. EDPA is Economic Development Partnership of Alabama. I've already had a call today with the Department of Commerce, and several conversations about tree brand with the Department of Commerce today, so lots going on there. So, other than that, I am trying to work on setting up meetings with all of you, with Mark and with Lane. I was just drafting an email to Lane, and then also, I have EDPA coming here next week, and then I will be taking a trip to Montgomery to meet with Commerce to go over several things with them. Probably in a couple of weeks, we'll be doing that. Lots going on.
Y'all have any questions?
Well, we got trees and chickens. So, are we gonna, or are you, let's put it that way, are you gonna come up with us a plan? I mean, we're never gonna get something that takes 2,000 employees. So you're gonna sort of give us a 5-year plan or something, what you're looking at?
So that is in the budget. I built that into a budget to do a strategic plan. The thing is to do a strategic plan, it cannot just be Tina's strategic plan, it has to be the county's strategic plan. And so the steps to do that are, what is this entity, this board gonna look like that we are gonna put together? How is it gonna exist? And have a meeting with Jason next week to start talking to him about legally what can we do there, and then who is sitting at the table to help develop that plan. But yes,
So we need to
an
get all
action,
that together before we start.
yeah,
Okay.
an action plan. I like to call them action plans. I don't like strategic plans that sit up on the shelf and you never do anything. I like to take a plan and actually put actions and dates to them. That's what we did before, and I think it's a good measurement of success that you, the commission, can take and say, when you do Tanya's review, this is what the strategic plan was. What did we accomplish? Like, what do we need to work on? Where do we need to shift priorities? I think it's essential that you have a plan. The chicken and trees make money. So chicken and trees can be a part of that strategic plan, and should be, because we have the assets to support that. So.
Thank you. You're welcome, Tanya.
Thank you.
All right, you hear me?
Yes, I don't have a lot. I will be some numbers for Avenue and Alabama Department, and I'll be in communication with them as well. Hopefully have something for you before our meeting. I know that we have a couple of folks that have been asked to be on our agenda. Do you want to talk about this, Ryan, or you want me to?
Yeah, Mickey Turner with Highland Health wants to do a PowerPoint presentation. And what they're looking at is possible, the way I understand it, that there's funding coming from the state to help us have more beds through RMC. We will probably move, I've talked to Crystal, set that up with Crystal. We'll probably move into JSU side so that we can do PowerPoint. It may just, if y'all want to do it, we'll just do it temporary for that portion, then we can come back in here and have a meeting. Or we can just move in there. Y'all okay with that?
Yeah.
And he'll do it, I think it's a 15-minute presentation. I tried to get him to come today, but he had a conflict. And I think you hooked us up.
Yeah, he's already working with the sheriff's department on mental health. They're big on the mental health process. They're wanting to put a laptop into the sheriff's, into the patrol car, which would give, if they're out there, they have a mental patient, and it gives them that first contact with that mental patient and all. But I'm sitting on a little kind of a board with them, working with the sheriff's department on mental health issues. So, I think it's.
So they're looking at setting up another computer in the police?
Yes, it'll be connected. If the sheriff, it's gonna be left up to the sheriff to decide.
So those computers would be funded for the vehicles?
The mental health, they're gonna provide them. It's no cost to us whatsoever.
Right now, we have a 17-bed facility in Alexandria. And of course, we have 14,000 people, so it's hard for us to get a bed sometimes. They usually work with us, but we don't have as much kind of. But they're trying to open up so that the state would actually pay for more beds, and we can use RMC also.
Okay.
So, and I signed a letter today saying that we would be, as a probate judge, I would be in support of that, not as a county commission. Tommy Mix, one of your constituents, is wanting to come to talk about road department issues. I've been denying that. And I have something with the Cleburne County Baptist Association. They are having their 125th anniversary. I have a document that I just typed out a resolution. I'm going to go and present it Sunday night, but I would like for y'all to possibly look over that and see if you want to change or add anything if y'all to that. And make sure you're okay with it, of course. If you're not okay with it, I mean, I don't think anybody, it's just basically a proclamation. And I can read it to you guys if you want me to, or I'll read it later. They're going to have an event Sunday night at Hepzibah. It just fell before our meeting. But we just want to, basically does nothing but recognizes them as a proclamation and says. And that's all I have.
Okay.
So we'll get Tommy Mix and Mickey Turner on the agenda. Everybody's good with that.
Okay, the only thing else I have was, I will have a resolution, whether you would like to add it, that will allow for me to be a certified county administrator. You have to be in that position and finish the coursework. You have to actually be in the administrative position for 3 years before you can become that, and I hit that 3 years on September the 29th. They will not actually recognize, the ACCA will not recognize me as a certified county administrator until next August when they have their annual ACCA conference. But we can go ahead and pass the resolution and then they'll just have it on the books that it's good to go. That's up to you all if you want to add that.
Everybody good with that? Consent agenda?
Consent agenda.
Okay.
And then the other thing I have was actually from Lee, I think he sent you all maybe an email about it. It was just a change to Mr. Hill's resolution. about the project on County Road 41 and just change the description of the work being done. I have sent that over to IAC, just to ask her to rework that resolution, and we can either resend the resolution from last time and pass a new one, or you can amend it. It's just a little bit of the wording of the work being done.
Just, let's do the amending and just put on new business.
Okay.
You want a new business? Okay.
And that's all I have.
Any other questions for Lisa? Yes, sir.
It's time to do our banking contract or whatever we call it. And I think this is not really for Lisa, but we need to send a letter to WM, to Waste Management. Lee has sent a letter about them picking up the old cans and putting out new ones. And I guess they throw it in the garbage. They didn't even bother to call them back or even respond. So I think we need to get our attorney to send a letter. I don't know if we need a resolution for that or.
I would think so.
Okay, then I'd like a resolution stating that we're going to ask them to send a letter.
You're taxing me. Taxing someone. And y'all can talk about what you want in the letter.
Probably, yeah, probably if we don't need business because we probably
Right.
discussion on it.
Yeah. You business good, everybody? Okay. Yes, sir.
Where we at on our 22 financial?
Deep into it. Right now, Melissa and I are back and forth, working on different things, communicating about what needs to be done to be prepared for that. She seems to be certain that we can get done in the time frame that we have, that the auditors have given us to have this done by the end of the calendar year, ready to be audited. I don't see any reason why we would not have that done by that time. Right now, I send her a copy of the trial balance. She goes through, she looks at things, says, you know, something's not just right with this balance, let's look at that. And then I go through my records, make any corrections or any comments that I need on it, and give it back to her, and she's back with me. So we're working on it on a very nearly a daily basis.
Listen, this really, if y'all can kind of push this through and get it through by November, don't wait until December.
We're not.
for
We're
this
working on it every day
finalized.
right now. We've been working on it every day, worked on it every day last week, and I've sent her over some more stuff today on it. So, I mean, it's a constant thing. Now, I had to put it aside this afternoon because my finance officer was out 3 days this week, so I had to kind of set it aside and do some other things today. But I have sent her an email with some things today. So we are steady working on it right now. We're not waiting until December
I
to
know
do
at
it.
first we were gonna have it done in October.
We're trying.
Here we are. Now we're talking about. the
Now, I have
first
my part done. I have my part that I have to do to
But
get ready
actually,
for
your
her.
report's not, if you're having to correct it, then it's, your report's not complete yet.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that I have the part that, where I had to get to a point where she could take it and go from there, and that's what she's doing. And we're still gonna be interacting the whole time, we're getting it ready. But while she's working on one thing, I'm working on fixed assets for it, I'm working on, you know, some of the pieces, the components that make up those financials.
Let's see, what, coming up on 2023, then you shouldn't be having these issues. You should be prepared and have it all
Right.
smooth.
And I think that once we are, by the time we get 22 audited, we will have 23 ready to go. Is the way it's looking right now, because I'm already nearly as far along with 23 as I am with 22, as far as having everything put together. But it's just because there weren't nearly the corrections after that first year that I was here for 22. There's not nearly as many problems or corrections in 23. So the goal right now is, once we call the auditors and say, this is our product, we're done with it, come in when you can, schedule us, it won't take them long to get here. Once they get here, I will have nearly the every day of working on the financials, and I'll be able to work on it by 23 then. And then hopefully by the time, because it takes them months to audit, hopefully by the time they get done with their audit, Melissa and I can be done with 23 and can do that, then that also. And I talked with Rhiannon about that, she was pretty happy that they were able to do it that way.
When they did the exit interview the other day, I saw what they were doing. they wanna do the 22s and 23s at the same time.
That's because I had already talked to Brianna before we ever came in that day, and she was really, I talked to her about that, and she said that would be wonderful, that would be a great way for you all to get to where you need to be timing wise. So that's the goal, and I've talked to Melissa about it, and she's like, I think that's a realistic goal right now, because she can see, even our FY23, she can see where we are, and she said it's looking much better than what we had to get through to get the 22 ready.
Just make sure the 22s gets done, because
It will be done.
if we go the other route, I'm not gonna be happy.
I don't either.
When it gets turned over to the court, then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be happy.
Yeah, it's a legal compliance audit, a lot of counties get those, but I would believe that would happen with us.
It doesn't matter.
Right now, they had 2 years in a row, their last two was legal compliance.
We don't want that.
I know, and I don't either, and that's definitely not the goal, and that's why I'm saying, when I'm working on it, now that I have some help and can let some of the things go, like checking AP and checking payroll, and getting involved in all those daily or weekly things, I can concentrate on getting these financials done and getting us where we need to be.
Stay on top of your organization to make
Oh,
sure
yes.
they're done on a weekly basis, not wait until the end of the month. Because it's something that you can come do on a weekly basis. You don't have to wait till the end of the month to do it.
Alright, anything else? Alright, Commissioner, y'all have anything? Yes, sir. Sorry. Roger,
Oh, they can go ahead.
Roger, you got something?
Lane and I were at a, I guess you call it a class, but anyway, something got brought up that reminded me of something else. By Alabama law, the commission chair is supposed to tour the jail weekly. But the attorney down there said we could task the maintenance department with doing this. Do we need a resolution?
I've been in the jail for a week. I feel like I've toured it from one end to the other.
I think when him and I came in office, we went through that same
But we tour it about once a year.
We toured it in the beginning, and then he took over the maintenance, so we just kind of shifted everything over to him.
Okay, I understand that, but this is Alabama law. There's more lawsuits in the jail than anywhere. Okay, if it goes to court, that's gonna be the first question they ask. Are you doing weekly walkthroughs like Alabama law says you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
So, I would just like to task Fred, since he's our maintenance guy, with doing that and doing a report. Or if he's not capable, whoever. But, I mean,
I used to visit a lot more, that's my fault, I used to go a lot, but in the last few years, I have not. But I do have.
Well, if they
years
told
of-
me to, we couldn't even go into jail.
Well, yeah, I did,
That's
yeah,
what that-
it just didn't make good sense to do
I mean,
that.
it may not ever come up, but if it ever comes up with a lawsuit out there, then that's gonna be, according to the attorney down there, that's gonna be the first question, and that's pretty much, you're gonna lose right there, you know?
Well, it's just-
I didn't remember it being like a weekly thing, I thought that it was my duty to check it
Yeah, I-
or
I
walk
thought
through
it
it.
was just
What did they say, Terry? They say weekly.
I was gonna bring my notebook and Ron forgot it up. I've been running around all day like that, she got my head cut off. But, Ken Webb, the one that did the talks, you know, and,
So what would be the things that they would be looking for, you think?
Oh, just anything, I don't know that, I mean, Fred's a maintenance man, but I think if the duty's mine, I'll do it.
I've got it right here, if you want me to read it.
have you got it?
Yeah.
And it says, the chairman of the county commission and the public judge are hereby authorized and empowered once each week without informing the sheriff or jailer of the time when such visit will be made, to visit and examine the condition of the jail, to make a memorandum in writing of such examination, and to report under oath such examination to the grand jury.
I mean, the
Now,
way
we are inspected by each grand jury 2 or 3 times, at least twice a year. So they get that report, and they come through. Since COVID, it's just, we do it with FaceTime and the chairman of the grand jury, the foreman.
Well, let me say this, I would like for it to be the chairman. The reason why, because if your maintenance man is falling short on his job, then you ain't gonna have a double check.
I mean, it's fine with me, whoever, I'm just saying that,
But it says by law, it's probably good.
well, Ken did say that it could be, you could task a maintenance person to do it. But somebody need to do a weekly report, just in case there's a lawsuit. And he said it's not, it's not walking there and said, oh, there's some water out there. It's like the door's about to fall off the hinges, or, stuff like that. I mean, I was looking down the road.
Send
looking at the wall.
me that, if
You
you
know.
don't mind.
And the reason behind that, and I don't know if it meant you had to do it weekly or it's just authorized to do it weekly, but
That's what I mean.
if there's a problem with an employee that causes a lawsuit, that's all the sheriff. If it's a building problem, it comes back to the commission. That's the reasoning behind those inspections. And, we do a safety inspection checklist every month, so that might be something that whoever inspects could use and sign, and you'd be killing two birds with one stone.
But that's the way I always took it. It was at my
Discretion,
discretion.
so never do it is your discretion.
Well, I used to do it a lot more, but I mean, things,
I mean, you know how attorney is. I mean,
Yeah.
Ken says, you need that piece of paper on file somewhere, in case there's a lawsuit. And he said half the lawsuits in the state are from the jails, on the county level.
Well, good.
I have-
Pretty good right now.
I have hearings occasionally over there.
We just ain't documented it. Other than that metal stud falling out of the ceiling.
I don't know that that's a weekly, I mean, the way I read that or understand it, we can ask Jason what he thinks.
I've got it in that notebook they provided us, and I was gonna bring it, but I think it was 5 things that the commission chair was supposed to do, and that was one of them.
Well, I think Lisa's got a good program set up with our maintenance department as far as keeping things documented, so I think she's, as far as a maintenance person, could document once a week, because our maintenance guy's over there at least 4 times a week checking out inmates, so it ain't like that, it wouldn't take but another second if we just put a sheet together for him to walk through and check the doors off the hinges and stuff like that, so.
Or you gonna do it for maintenance or for public?
Well, I think what I would do is a weekly from the maintenance and a monthly from the appropriate judge. Or your chairman, what do you think about that?
That's fine.
Yeah.
But do we need a resolution?
I don't think you need a resolution, you got
We
that?
already got a law.
But if you're gonna task maintenance to do it, you
Oh,
probably need a
yeah,
resolution.
you probably
Yeah,
do.
let's do that. At least we got something documented somewhere that and just create a file, separate for the jail. And then that way, when the probate judge once a month, we'll put one in there with it, so you'll have Fred's and the probate judge once a month. And then when you maybe put it on your computer where it'll pop up, hey, this is the first of the month, I need to make sure that's in there. That's some way I can make anything happen, just do a repeat each month. And that way, whenever they decide to go over and do it. But with Fred, you should be able to get one once a week from him, because he's at the jail every day. He's at work.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anything else? Y'all want that on consent or new business?
What did you pass this out for?
Oh, I just was sharing, I thought y'all might like the history on the Baptist Association.
On the stuff that we sent to Jason, we're gonna bring it up while he's here, as far as pay increases and stuff like that we're talking about for our elected officials.
He was supposed to bring us something. I called him, but he said he didn't have everything together yet.
This is how I email Friday.
Yeah. Did you read the email from him?
We can discuss it. But the email he sent out now, he said it's confidential,
Yeah.
so you don't need to read the email.
Right.
So we can, put it on for discussion.
Yeah.
Let's put it on for discussion. And
Discussion like new business.
as the new business. You have to,
So what would your resolution
as
be?
far as, in the, pay increase. Because we have to go through the resolution a long time. So November, to get it to them.
I don't think that was what the email was about.
No. Well, I think,
That-
go ahead.
I mean, there's three issues. There's, Ms. Fuller's got a deal where she thinks she's owed back pay, that's one issue. You got another issue where the elected officials have wanted a pay increase for incoming new, politicians. And then three is we've already discussed that one, so. But that's the two issues that we got. And I think what Jason sent out was on the issue of back pay. But we do need to discuss it, and he probably needs to be here because I'm not an attorney.
What do you want on new business?
The pay increase is nothing to do with the back pay. The pay increase was for the elected officials. That's what we had talked about before, and we've never done anything about it. Or we're gonna just let it sit, or we're gonna do.
Well, I have discussed to myself, just trying to figure out and plus looking at our sheets that we have. One of the things that I have a problem with is when our sheriff, when we elect a new sheriff or a revenue commissioner, that base pay. I think, like we got deputies that by the time they work overtime make more money than the sheriff does. And I don't want it to get where we can't get qualified people to do those jobs. And looking at, and I think the sheet that Ms. Fuller gave us was a good one, as far as when it comes, when she sent it out, but where I was a little different when I first looked at it, but I'm between starting pay for your sheriff or your revenue commissioner between $70,000 and $72,000 starting pay. And then if we're not gonna come up with I'm just talking for myself, so nobody has to talk. And so on top of that, I know there was a thing that we were talking about 2.5% raises for elected officials and top out at 18 years. Well, I'm not on board with that. I think where I'm at, being an elected official at a pay rate of 70 starting out for 18 years, because I have a feeling that the commission is still going to have to help with our county employees as far as every now and then there's going to probably be a percentage raise in my mind for our employees. So where I'm at as far as a yearly fee, and I know the Probate Judge Association done this once before, and they were at 1.25%, and that's where I would be. So that's my feeling about it. I would be willing to talk to our legislators to put that together. As far as what I just said, we just need to, and I have already talked with Randy a couple of times while we was down at the Republican meeting down there. And he said we all need to be on the same page with what we're gonna do. Now, I don't really care about including the county commission in on that. And, not that we don't, I ain't saying that we don't deserve something, but I'm just saying with our elected officials, between our probate judge, our revenue commissioner, and our sheriff, those are full, that's their livelihood. And I do want to see that they're, don't just be put on the shelf and never get dusted off. So, that ain't a whole lot, but I think that there, if you create that base pay at 70 or 72, when I looked at the numbers that I was looking at, and then a 1.25%, and then at the end, and now if we give a COLA raise, that will increase that 70 or 72 if we decide to even do that. But the raises that we give through this legislation, it's going to go back. They're not going to hold that raise. It's just going to go back at either 70 or 72. Then other commissioners in the next life can increase it if they see fit, but if you get a 2.5% COLA raise for our county employees, then the elected officials would get a 2.25%.
The 2.5% step raises for the county employees, not COLA.
I know.
It's a
But what-
performance raise.
But what I'm saying is, if we give them
Oh, I
on
mean-
top of that,
Yeah, there'll be years where we have to do a COLA.
yeah,
But the 2.5% is performance, not every employee's gonna get it, it's for
Right.
the department head. So that's a separate issue from this.
right.
This,
The base pay is the only thing that we're talking about,
Okay.
base pay.
You want a resolution to task the legislatures to do something on new business?
So let's put it on new business, and then we can talk about it, and if we need to change it, or if we don't.
Alright.
You know.
One
It
is,
has to be 100% of the
but that's what the work session's for, let's talk about it.
Well,
I mean, first off, I'd like to thank Crystal and Emily for coming up with this.
Yeah.
It was very helpful.
Yeah,
but I mean, she's saying right now she wants something on new business. Everybody good? To start with, I mean, new business, right? And
Well,
only
let's
thing
discuss what
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
do
do
first. So your resolution is
to
to,
put it on new business, and then.
so what are you looking at putting on?
Well, no, I mean, either we do it or we don't.
We can have a resolution that we put on new business. We can list it as an item on new business, but we need a resolution. Now, what does that resolution read?
To task the legislators,
Ask the legislators with,
changing the base
I don't
pay.
know if you could task them, you could ask them,
Or
Yeah.
ask them to come up with a bill, I mean, a local act to give,
to change the base pay.
okay? And that could be amended or whatever, so.
Right.
Okay.
do
Is there
we
any
want,
other?
do we want to put an amount in that, or are we just going to get blank, or?
I was thinking 70,000, you was going to 72, I had 70,000.
I'm good with that. I'm good with something.
I mean, y'all, we can discuss it here in just a second. In the was there another resolution? Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Terry.
Okay, I'm gonna throw my idea out there. What I've been thinking about is a 5% base pay across the board for all county employees to start pay. Which is not gonna cost us nothing, except when you hire a new person. Okay, then 2.5% a year, just like our regular employees for the county officials, with an 18-year cap. And that's my idea. If we don't want to discuss it, fine. If we don't want to discuss it, that's fine.
So what you're saying is do a 5% base pay increase across the board, including your elected officials, including your employees. Oh,
Which, I mean, it don't cost you anything except when you hire a new employee.
right.
But it won't be effective until the next election in 2 years. Which none of this is gonna go into effect till then anyway.
Right. Okay.
So you were talking about the 5% for new.
5% base pay increase for all employees, including the elected officials. And then the 2.5% raise we've already passed, which is a, merit raise, whatever you want to call it. But for the county officials, it would just be automatic, 2.5 a year for 18 years. Just like the hourly employee.
And they would start getting, they would start getting theirs now.
No, not till the next election, with the way I would like it written, but.
Are you talking about legislation, or are you talking about a resolution that, we can give it?
I'm talking about legislation.
Oh, okay,
You can't.
Yeah, we can't do that.
okay.
I mean, it has to go through.
So you're saying leave their base pay as is and only do the 2.5%?
I said raise everybody's base pay 5%,
Okay, and then 2.5%.
and then 2.5% a year for elected officials, and then the hourly employees, which we've already passed, that's a whole separate issue. It's a performance raise. It's up to the department heads.
But you're also giving any new employee that 5% raise.
Yeah.
The two and a half after that, I'm just trying to understand this, because I'm trying to write a resolution too. The 2.5% after that year, that's just for the elected
Just for
officials.
elected officials.
Can you do that with omnibus? Can you give it 2.5 without giving it all to all the county employees?
I'm not an attorney, I just said that's my idea, I'm not.
And I understand, I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you're asking for too, because I'm.
Well, with the omnibus, if you get it across the board, the elected officials get it, but what Terry's saying is the 2.5% will continue on for your,
Elected officials for the year.
for your elected officials up to 18 years.
Right, without necessarily giving your employees that same 2.5%
Right.
Right,
across the board.
The employees already have it.
and that.
And then whatever, and then if the COLA rate comes in the midst of that, it will increase the base pay of your elected officials,
Sure.
and the same way with your county employees.
Is that, you want that to be a second resolution? As a second
Let's just put
source?
the legislation in there.
18 years.
I mean, I just do it out there for us to discuss, I mean, that's just what I came up with, I mean, everybody's got their own ideas.
5%.
Well, like I said, it's
So you're
not
saying
about
increase their
something-
base pay 5%, and then 2.5% for,
Two and a half, up to 18 years.
This is just what you're agreeing to ask the legislation to do for you.
right.
Yeah, it's all got to go through the legislature. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, the part about raising hourly employees, that's up to the legislature, but might as well just make it one resolution and be done with it. One legislative act or whatever. But like I said, I'm just throwing it out there. If y'all don't like that, we'll talk about something else. You know?
I was just thinking that it would be possible for a new employee to come in at a 5% increase to make more than existing employee. You know,
No. You're gonna get 2.5% raises before this goes into effect. So the worst case scenario, they come in exact thing, but that'd be like 1 in 1,000 chance of that happening.
okay, if it happens in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want any of that to go in effect until it's got to go through the legislature, and they're not gonna put it into effect until the next election for elected officials, so everything just needs to happen at one time. I was hoping Emily would be here, she probably knows more about it than I do.
Because that base pay, they already stepped up, they've been employed for 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I don't think anybody's getting cheated, but I'm just throwing it out there for discussion. Now, I know we got questions for Jason, but we can sort of narrow it down to what we're looking at
But,
before.
and also we got to talk to the legislation and how this can be put together.
That's,
And we have to talk to Randy, Chad, and find out if that can be done.
it can be done, they gonna, whatever you send down there, they don't have to, they don't do it. That's what they're gonna do. They always read it out.
All right, so we do have a resolution. Do you want yours in a form of resolution here?
I mean, if everybody wants to discuss it tonight, but if not, yeah, it's still on and go vote.
And then, like I said, we still got to check with Randy and Chad,
Right, they'll have to run it through their local law group.
if it can even be done.
Yes.
So we don't,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. You're just asking for a local act to be, and then they'll see how it can be written up, and then they'll see how it can be run in the paper. If y'all pass this. But first, you're asking to do this unanimously. They're gonna want it to be.
Either way, it has to be done. They're not gonna even take it unless
It's
we all
unanimous.
agree.
They want it to be unanimous. They want y'all to be on board so that,
To the same.
That's really not throwing it out there tonight, so we can talk about it, and that way you don't have to have 2 resolutions, but whatever.
well, I mean, you wanna amend hers?
I mean, we just need to,
Well, let's get Emily to put the numbers together for us on the increase of the 5%. If you're saying, because the only two I was discussing was your revenue commissioner and the sheriff's. I wasn't looking at the commissioners or the
I've talked to Randy, and he didn't come out and say, but what I got from the conversation was, he wants it to be everybody.
No, that's what it comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me
So,
that.
Okay.
She's going to give myself a raise.
but you're not gonna get it, 'cause, well, yeah, you will, because you're getting reelected, in 2 years, not going to affect the 2 years, so.
All right, anything else, y'all? Any other resolutions? Y'all ready to go home?
Man,
The,
I'm just big.
so where we at at the jail? You think we got the leak stopped?
Well, we'll know when it rains.
I've never seen such a mess in my life.
They've replaced about everything it could be, right?
Yeah, the thing of it is, I just want to say, we've got to come up with a program that we just don't send anybody and everybody up there to work on. I've never tore off so much. I mean, I had to get, I didn't have my glasses, and that's right, they're small. But one caulk don't fix all. I mean, that commercial does not believe it really, it does not exist, because that's one of the biggest problems, is getting the crap off to get to what the problem was. So, there's enough, and the thing about it is, when you got a place that's pulled out like this, and they just go down and caulk like this, then what you got is a funnel, and it just slowly seeps through. We've cut all that off, so. We just, when it rains, I don't think we'll have a leak. We spray with a water hose, so.
Thank you for coming. Hey, you need a resolution for this?
Do y'all want, is that okay to have?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Just,
You want to have that same?
I'm gonna go ahead and present it Thursday, send it out, let's
Do your thing, buddy. Collect the jail and everything.